There's been a lot of talk recently about specifically Hoyoverse games with the amount of power creep that has been added to the games recently. I mean, in the background you can see footage of me just grinding some artifacts for Caceres, a character who brings a global passive to your account that gives a global revive whenever someone dies. As long as you have her on the account, they get a revive, which is just kind of insane. We've got a video by Gacha Smack here going over the Pridewind tier list, and pretty much everyone in the top 2 tiers are brand new characters. Now, this is a huge issue, and an issue that has honestly made a lot of people quit Honkai Star Rail. And it isn't just an issue on Star Rail. If we look at Genshin, again, in the top 2 tiers, the only, early character I would say that is there is Hu Tao, which is kind of insane that there is, 12 characters above Hu Tao. And even Zenless, although it's only been out for, way less time than the other two, Miyabi got released and immediately power crept, especially Evelyn, but every DPS in the game pretty much. But that's not what I wanted to talk about today. If you don't know me, I'm Solteki. I've played a lot of gachas for a few years. Arknights was my first, and then I moved to Genshin when that released. I've played Zenless, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero since their release. And other games too, like solo leveling. Now in this video, I wanted to talk about why you should keep playing these games, and why the focus on meta units is a bit dumb in my opinion. Now this isn't going to be like a I love Hoyoverse, praise Hoyo or anything like that. I obviously have my criticisms and I understand everyone's point about the power creep. I agree, it is insane. And using Gacha Smack as an example here, no hate towards him, he's an awesome dude, I love his content. But a lot of the points he goes over here is about power creep. Now we just go over some other stuff like the story being way too long, which I totally agree with. I wish that there was just a skip all button, give me the rewards. I don't care about the story. There's obviously some people that do, that would just like the story reworked for there to be more combat, more cutscenes, and not just, skipping dialogue over and over. But we're just going to focus on the power creep aspect. Now I'm going to use Genshin as the biggest example here. I quit Genshin after playing it nearly every day for 2 years. I'll pull up my account here. I know, absolute loser, but there is my daily logins for Genshin. Now, this isn't total days played. Obviously, that would be, worrying. That's how many times I've logged onto my main Genshin account. And as you can see, I played for about 2 years straight when that came out, and then quit, went cold turkey. I got huge burnout. I didn't like the direction that the game was going. My units were getting power crept every update, and the game was getting a bit stale. However, with the release of the solo leveling anime, there has been a lot of players playing solo leveling online. And in my community Discord, which there'll be a link in the description to, a lot of my community has been asking, hey, what other gacha games should I try? I love solo leveling Arise, but I've kind of done everything that I can do for now until the next update. What gacha should I play? And weirdly, despite not really liking Genshin, despite the views that I have of it in my head, I always ask if they've played it, and if they say no, I say that's the best experience for a beginner, and it got me reconsidering my views about Genshin. When I think about Genshin, and when I think about recommending Genshin to someone who plays gacha games, I immediately go to, there isn't enough endgame, the characters kind of get power crept, overall long term it isn't a great experience. Now the problem with that is that these players playing it for the first time, their characters aren't going to get power crept. They won't care about the endgame for a few months. And I honestly reconsidered my entire viewpoint on Genshin as a whole. Now I started playing through Genshin again recently because of this, and I've been having a ton of fun. Not caring about the meta, not caring about what other people think about the characters, not looking at tier lists, building what characters that I love. Now Venti has always been my favorite character, for no reason at all. I loved him since I first saw him on 1.0 when the game released 4 years ago. I never got him on my main account, and once Kazuha came out and kinda just power crept Venti, I didn't care about him as much anymore. Now on this new account, I got Venti on his latest banner. I've been playing around with him and he is so fun to use, and this is the biggest point that I wanted to make this video about. Genshin doesn't have any PvP content. Neither does Star Rail, neither does Zenless Zone Zero. Now, there is comparities that you can make with your friends, with people online. There is people in Star Rail, for instance, who, take very much pride in beating levels or content in the game, I should say, as quickly as possible with 0 waves or whatever it's called. And that's fine. If that's what you love, then you can totally do that. But playing solo leveling where there is actual PvP, where there is a guild system, it has opened my mind to these other games. Now, I will not deny that Hoyoverse has a huge problem with power creep. However, It is totally up to you if you want to care about that. These games do not have a PvP system. You are not competing for rewards against other players. It does not matter if you have a worse character than your friend. It does not matter if you use Diluc and they use Mauvika. You are not fighting each other, you're just fighting the enemies in the game, and that's what I've came to realize playing through Genshin again. You can use whatever character you like and not pay attention to tier lists, not pay attention to the new characters coming out unless you like the look of them. Power creep absolutely does not matter in a single player game, and that's what these Hoyoverse games are, single player. Now, I'm not saying that it's correct. I'm perfectly aware that the new characters are better so that they can keep making money. If the new characters were worse than previous ones, no one would really pull unless they absolutely love the design, love the animations. I totally understand why the new characters are better than the previous ones. And that's why I would absolutely love for the people watching this video who do still play these games to not pull for the recent characters just because they are better than previous ones. That really enforces and tells Hoyoverse that we're okay with the program that they are running, that the new characters should just immediately power creep old ones. Do not pull for them just because they are better. Pull for them because you love their character. That's what I'll be doing on this new account, and I'm having a ton of fun. I won't be pulling for Kazuha. He is very fun, but personally, I just love Venti's playstyle so much more. Venti is in no way, shape, or form better than Kazuha, but I personally love him. Neuvillette is one of the best DPS in the entire game, and I'm gonna pull for him when his rerun comes out. He is completely power crept other Hydra DPS, other DPS that came out before him, but that's okay because I think he has a way cooler kit, a way cooler design, and way cooler animations than those previous things. And that is what you should be pulling for in these games. Castorise, I'm totally okay with her having a global passive. I'm totally okay with her power creeping previous units. And that is because I think her dragon is awesome, dude. If Castorise sat there and clicked her fingers and everything died, I wouldn't think that was cool. I wouldn't get her. But her design is awesome, and I personally love it. I got her, I'm building her. But yeah, that's my thoughts. If you disagree on what I'm saying, that's totally fine. I just think the Genshin and Hoyoverse games are getting a horrific rep at the moment for what they're doing, which would only really be an issue if the game had PvP content. Now, you can disagree on that, you can debate me in the comments, but what I ask is that you don't just dislike the video and click off. If you don't like the video, if you disagree with what I'm saying, leave a comment, let's have a debate, let's have a discussion about it. But either way, I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, a like and subscribe would be appreciated, and I hope you have a good day. See ya.